Hi, this is Matt Bradley-Tschirgi. We are looking here at Leisure Suit Larry, the EGA version. It's picking up the thing so the graphics overlay correctly on the screen. Very good. Okay, so Leisure Suit Larry, for those that don't know, what the hell is it? It is a game from the 1980s that was controversial at the time. It was kind of a graphic sort of remake, heavily inspired by a game called Soft Porn Adventure that was a text adventure. This had graphics. This was one of the best-selling games ever at the time, one of the most pirated games ever as well. And was by Sierra. It later became Sierra Online. They did a lot of great adventure games. It was founded by Ken Williams and Roberta Williams, his wife, who did the King's Quest series. But the Leisure Suit Larry games, these original ones, were done by Al Lowe, a super talented guy. He was a programmer, he was a composer, and did all kinds of stuff. So we're going to check out a bit of this game. I've played it, it's been a while since I've played it, but I was played it a lot as a kid. This first one is really short. I don't know if we'll get through the whole game, but we'll do a little half-hour stream here and see how things go. And if you like what you see, be sure and give me a follow and set your reminders so you know when I stream next time. We need to start doing this on a more consistent basis. So here we go. Let's go. Yeah, so this beginning here of the game, it is showing it was meant for adults, so it says, what's your age? And it does a trivia thing, and it's pretty novel. They carried it over into the other games. It gives you a trivia test. But however, this is based on pop culture at the time and politics and stuff of the time when this game came out in the 80s. I think it was probably 85, something like that. So, but I've played the game a lot. I know the answers. But the thing is, like, if you get the answers wrong, then you see less of the nudity and so forth. I mean, I say nudity, but there's not really... the stuff in the game is pretty tame. There's also stereotypes and things here. But you have to consider Leisure Suit Larry is a product of its time, if nothing else. And you can think, oh, they wouldn't make this today. But they still make games in the series. Different companies have the rights, and the recent ones like What Dreams Don't Die or What Dreams Die Twice are actually very good continuations from different designers from a team out in Germany. But yeah, let's go to... I'll shut up and let's play the game. How old I am. How old am I? Can't speak. Here we go. I'll just make up an age. Let's say 50. And then you have to answer questions, right? Who has not been a U.S. Attorney General? Shit. I know politics to a point. Movie history, I'm good at. Film history, music. I'm okay at that trivia. I used to do competitive trivia and hosted bar trivia for a few years. Who has not been a Attorney General? I'll say Sam Shepard because that's an actor. Correct. Okay. The most likely place to find virgins is the Virgin Islands, Virginia, St. Mary's Girls' School, or Hollywood. I would say a girls' school because it's like a Catholic school of people under a certain age. I don't know. This feels like a trick question. It says most likely, right? Not guaranteed. Mork was from the planet Ork. Mork and Mindy was a sitcom with Robin Williams. That was a spinoff of his appearance on Happy Days a few times. And a lot of times back then, if a popular character was on a sitcom, they could get their own show. And Mork and Mindy ran for several years. Very funny show. Although I haven't seen it lately, but I imagine it holds up just with Robin Williams' zaniness, especially around that time. Who was banned from Saturday Night Live because he lost a telephone pole? Yeah, Andy Kaufman. Andy Kaufman used to be an opening act, or a music act, weird, kind of surrealist humor, actually pretty modern, all things considered. And Kaufman was did this gimmick thing, right? Said, in the telephone poll, if enough of you call and say, no, I'm not going to do this again. And sadly, people said no. Great Jim Carrey movie about the life of Andy Kaufman called Man on the Moon. A lot of good memoirs about Kaufman by his writing partner, Bob Zamuda. And Andy Kaufman did a bit on the very first episode of Saturday Night Live. So big, very influential comedian. Died way too young. Final question. Bum, bum, bum. Okay. Okay. So in Westworld, this is interesting. So Westworld originally was a movie written and directed by Michael Crichton, who later was better known for his books like Jurassic Park and Great Train Robbery. And I'm kind of jumping around chronologically here. But, Westworld recently has a HBO series that's, the first season's great. The second season I wasn't crazy about, and I have yet to see season 3, and apparently season 4 is, if not out, coming out soon. So I got a lot of catching up to do. But yeah, the guests are entertained by Stephen Wright. I'm not sure who that is. That's, if I had to guess, it would be like an actor or a talk show host. X-rated movies. Thematically, with what goes on in Westworld, it's not a terrible, that's like a close guess. Robots is the correct answer. Rodney Dangerfield, excellent comedian from 70s, 80s, 90s. Probably best known for Back to School, a movie that I'm surprised hasn't been remade. About this old rich guy that has to go to college to get an inheritance or something like that. And it's just a lot of funny scenes. Also, has a real memorable supporting part in Caddyshack, and funny way of speaking. He also wrote and starred in his own comedies, even towards the end, of his life, which I admire. A lot of comics don't write their own material, and that's, or especially for feature films and stuff, right? So to do that, to be a little bit more in control of your projects and your destiny is admirable. So C, robots is the answer. So I got all these right. Slip into my leisure suit. So the very first game, Leisure Suit Larry in the Land of the Lounge Lizards. That they have the confidence for the first game in a series to just act like the characters are known characters, like, James Bond in License to Kill, or whatever the films are, right? Yep, this is a PC speaker music composed by Owlo. Let's take a listen here. This is the titular Larry theme. You control at the keyboard, left, right, up, down. And here at the cursor at the bottom right, I can type stuff like look. And the narrator is kind of funny here, right? We're just sign in the utility pole. Okay, right? So, this is how you solve the puzzles, right? You learn how to do stuff. Taxi stand. Oh, I can get a taxi if I want. And I and V. These are the 3 most important letters playing these games. Inventory, right? So, what do you have to work with? Wallet, pocket lint, breath spray, wristwatch. The breath spray you actually use for some puzzles. So you can say, look, watch Bolex instead of a Rolex. And it says the time is 10. I assume 10 p.m. because of the lighting. I don't recall if... Uh-oh. The dog will pee on me if I wait too long, which I just did. And that might kill you. I'm not sure. You can die in really weird ways in this game. So I should probably save the game. It's doing these graphic things because ScumVM is the emulator, but I'm using the version I purchased off of GOG, goodoldgames.com. So I will just save. I'll call it Matt. And there we go. Great. So we are going to go and go into the bar. Not open bar. Oh, maybe it is an open bar. No, they charge you money. That's right. I was going to look at the wallet. So I got $94, business cards, Notes, credit cards that don't work in this game, and cash. Can I look at notes? Remember to buy more Sierra three-dimensional graphic adventure games. Right. So this genre of games, which they make in the indie space, and yeah. I mean, like Sherlock Holmes or Nancy Drew or that kind of stuff. They still make them as games you can play on the phone or on the computer. They're just more casual. It's not a huge part of the market as it was, but this was considered a three-dimensional game because you're not moving on a two-dimensional plane just left to right. Right? See, I can go up, down, left, right, all this stuff. So let's open the door. Oh, I want to look at the other thing. It said, look, credit cards. They don't accept your credit card from the First National Bank of Libya. Okay, then. And I think it said something else was in the wallet, right? I'm just curious. Business cards. Look, business card. And that's the actual phone number for Sierra Online at the time. I kind of want to call it, but it's 7:30 a.m. in what the hell am I saying here? Pacific time, right, in this time zone. So, nope, not going to do it. I'm not close enough. See, I mean, that's a good example of how specific this stuff is, right? You got to be right, your nose up against something. You see the animation, and I mean, these are looping animations, but this is like a good, well drawn scene, I think, in the game, and it's become iconic. Mark Crow did the graphics on this. He would later be a co-designer and do graphics on the Space Quest games, in particular during the graphics on Space Quest 1, 2, and 3. So we see there's a nude picture of a woman. There's a fan. There's a woman with her legs dangling. There's a bartender doing business. There's a guy with a mustache who is a shout out to Ken Williams, the founder of Sierra. And he always gets kind of ragged on in these games. But him and Al, Lowe, the designer of this one, are good friends, and it's kind of a running gag. So that he didn't mind being made fun of in a lot of the Sierra games, I think shows he has a sense of humor. So I can say like, look, stool. It's just as it appears. That's not a great description. A lot of times, sometimes these games have generic descriptions to save time with the writers having to come up with descriptions for everything. It's a lot harder than it sounds to A, make a description that's good, and B, C, make it funny and short. Sit. So it understood that. I mean, that's part of the thing with these games, right? So if I type stuff, it might recognize what I'm saying. Hey, Shibi Audrey, thanks for tuning in. You ever played this Leisure Suit Larry game before or anything like this? Oh, got some stuff in Spanish. Cool. Isma 6 SPX. Cayó un poco anda que aburres con la voz de un fantasma. Spanish is rusty. I have a voice like a ghost or something. Spanish isn't that great, but yeah, no. Love the chat. Feel free to chat. If you like this, follow all that fun stuff. Blah blah blah. Right. So they're talking originally, and so they're doing jokes and stuff or whatever. Damn it, Liza! Don't you know your own reflection? Har har. So we're gonna talk to the bartender. You greet the bartender. What'll it be? Lefty responds. Whiskey, wine, or beer? I'll have a glass of your fine, well whiskey, you tell Lefty. This game was actually remade with a version with voices, with Aulo in charge of it, and that version is pretty good, actually. Unfortunately, for reasons that you can look up if you want, they didn't end up doing more of them in that fashion, and that's too bad. So well whiskey, that means the cheapest whiskey they have at the bar. When I started drinking, that was usually like $3. Now it's, depending on where you go, it could be like $6, $7 sometimes, which is too much in my opinion. That'll be $3, please. You flip $3 on the counter. You don't drink the whiskey, but instead carry it with you wherever you go, precariously balanced in an open shot glass. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. So you're hearing like the punchline to jokes, but not the setup. Very curious. So we will get up. Part of the fun here is looking at stuff, right? So we can say like, look, fan, it's just going around in circles, like your life. Look, moose. It's an antique leftover from King's Quest 3. Right, so King's Quest was the big franchise for CR Online, designed by Ken's wife, Roberta. Later she would get help with like the design and the writing from people like Jane Jensen, who would later do Gabriel Knight, and Lori Shannon, who would later do Phantasmagoria 2, A Puzzle of Flesh. We can look at the... if you wanted me to try like commands, feel free to type stuff in the chat. Look at case. Not case. Look at jukebox. I'm not close enough to look at it, really. All right. Look, jukebox. Gee, Dad, it's a Wurlitzer. Use jukebox. You insert $1 and select a song. I like that it's bouncing up and down. It is just playing the Leisure Suit Larry stuff. Okay. So another piece of music. They didn't do a lot of these musics in these games because of it was PC speaker and loud, and to a lot of people kind of annoying. I actually like how it sounds. So there's a drunk. That's kind of the drunk lead motif. This guy passed out in the hall. Or he's not passed out, but we will talk to him and see what he wants. First we'll look. That's the first thing to do, right? Dimly lit hallway, paint peeling off the walls gives some cockroaches something to watch. An old table is pushed against the west wall. A filthy drunk lies on the filthy floor, leaning against the filthy wall. A lot of uses of the word filthy. Look, drunk. He's a poor little lamb who lost his way, and also has bladder control. Nice. Talk, man. See, it looks like I should be close enough, right? This is just one of these part of the genre that you have to get used to, is just talking to these people, and you got to be like right close against them. So that's good. We see some animation of his mouth and waving the arm. How you, Sonny? How you about having a little drink? So if you look at an inventory, right, we can see a glass of whiskey. Why not do look whiskey? There's a strong odor of petroleum byproducts coming from this glass. We'll give. I bet you I can just say give drink to drunk. We'll see. I recognize that. That's surprising. A lot of these games, it's very particular with what you have to type in. Glug, 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 glug. Right, so he's drinking slurp. That is the old spot. You know, my must be only my friend in the world. Sure, I'm going to give away my only possession. My only possession. My only possession. My only possession. All I got in the world. What's a guy like me need the remote control? So, score went up. Yeah, right. So there's a score at the top. Anytime you solve puzzles, you get points. And if you go and do the puzzles, if you get the ideal way through the game, you can get all the points. Sometimes you can even get above what the maximum score is if it's a bit buggy or kind of an Easter egg. So now we'll look at the inventory, remote control. So look at remote control. Operating on the principle of line-of-sight infrared transmission, the remote control baffles you completely. Although it appears to do nothing, aiming at your groin while rapidly changing the channels does make you feel quite silly. I mean, really, these graphics here are pretty good for the time in that they're going to real places. You're not going to like dragons or spaceships or things where, you know, who knows what a dragon looks like, right? So you can kind of get away with stuff. This is set in the real world, so it's representing realistic objects. And we got this remote with just two buttons. Back around when this game was released, I was a child, but I do remember the TV remotes were very simple, had much fewer buttons, and you had a TV, you had channels over the air, and that was it. If you or your family had some money, maybe you had cable with a gazillion channels. But I do remember living some places earlier on where we just, you know, in the United States, you had like ABC, CBS, NBC, PBS, and that was about it. You had like maybe four or five channels if you count kind of the local community stuff, maybe up to like 10. But if there was nothing to watch, you couldn't get stuff on demand. You're just kind of screwed with what happened. So if we look in this room, you were in a dimly lit hallway. Oh, I already described all this. We'll look at the table. What is that on the table? This is a single, lovely, lawn-stemmed red rose lying incongruously on the table. All right, let's take a look. It rose. Look, rose. Is it a dead rose? A rose is a rose is a rose. How poetic. Okay, so now we're going to go to the door, to the, I believe it's the bathroom. Again, that not close enough thing. I have to get used to that. It's been a while. And look, you always want to do look the first time you walk into something. You were in Lefty's one and only restroom. The stench is overpowering. There is graffiti on the walls, and you doubt that the sink was clean even when it was installed. Even roaches can't survive in this place. So you can see the graffiti, and it's like, could we learn something from there? It turns out you can. So this is not a great puzzle, but it's uh, a good example of the kind of puzzles that were in these games from Sierra and later LucasArts and others. I misspelled graffiti. Huh. If I just do read wall, will that do it? Okay. You see many messages. One is, Scott me up, Beamy. Star Trek reference to Beam Me Up, Scotty. You see many messages. One is, attention arcade game players, don't eat the urinal cakes. A urinal cake is a blue thing that's in men's urinals and bathrooms to make it smell better because people don't flush the urinal all the time, the toilet all the time. Why they're called cakes, I guess they look like a little shortcake, but it's, yeah, I don't know what would, it's a joke, but why would someone eat it? No idea. Let's read wall. So more messages. It takes leather balls to play rugby. Rugby is a very rough sport. Popular in like Australia, England, a lot of places outside of the United States. It's popular. And think of football, but really, really hard tackling and less protection on the players. When I say football, I mean American football, not football. Okay. So this is where we actually solved the puzzle. We just had to do the same action 5 times. Here's an interesting one. The password is Ken sent me. Very good. So now we know the password. Is it in the inventory? Probably not. We say look password. It doesn't recognize that either. You can actually die in the toilet. So we're not going to flush it. So if we say like look toilet, not a pretty sight, use toilet. They grab an ancient copy of the Ball Street Journal and settle in to sit and think. Yeah, bars would have newspapers and stuff sometimes just left in the stall, covered with lovely bacteria, all that sort of stuff. So this Eileen animation is cute. And you see that his pants are off, which was risque for the time. I mean, I guess you still don't really see that in games that much. I feel a great relief. So presumably that means I took a shit. Oh, what's that aroma? Toilet paper. Use toilet paper. After finishing your duties, you wipe and toss the newspaper behind the toilet for the next user. He says behind. A lot of times where I've seen it at places, it was on top of the head of the toilet, the lid. So we're gonna go wash our hands, right? Why, look, some woman removed her diamond ring to wash her hands and forgot to take it with her. Ah, right. So this is a bar with only one bathroom. That's pretty unusual, but I did go to a place that had a unisex bathroom where it was men and women in the same bathroom, and that kind of threw me off. I'd never seen that before. I like the idea behind it. I think it's kind of silly to segregate men and women so much, but it just really threw me off because I just hadn't seen one. Anyhow, so we were going to get the ring, get that jewelry. You consider an attempt to find the ring's owner, but return to your normal self and pocket it instead. Yeah, so I mean, your Leisure Suit Larry is who you're playing as. He's kind of a scumbag. He also is in the city of Lost Wages. It's supposed to be Las Vegas, is more or less is what they're getting at, and it's just quite something. So we got almost 10% of the points already. 10 out of 222. And we should wash hands. I think that should be fine. There's no soap, no towels. Your hands are still dirty, but now they're wet. Look in mirror. You see a handsome, dashing, macho, sexy young man. Obviously, this mirror has quite a bit of distortion. You can see, it repeats the music every time you go into the room. I wonder if there's anything on the brick wall. You spend hours carefully examining every brick. You find nothing. All right. Let's keep on going. Let's save the game. It's just a good habit to save every, I don't know, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, especially because you die so often in these games. One thing that's noticeable is it says your mouth tastes like the inside of a motorman's glove. So this game did support the mouse, and you can use the mouse. Yow, do something about that breath of yours. Hey, dork, you've got toilet paper stuck to your shoe. You nonchalantly scrape it off. So we can see this game does have mouse support, right? You can click around and everything. However, it's not a great way to navigate. The keyboard, I think, is easier. Especially there's not Leisure Suit Larry, but some of these other ones. You have to walk on like steps and cliffs, and if you're slightly off, you fall and die. So that's why I'm just more of a keyboard guy for these games. Later ones, they force you to use a mouse, but we're not nearly that far yet in the series. Okay, right. So we're going to look at the door. The peephole is locked from the inside. Peephole is that purple thing, right? So you can look through the peephole unless it's closed, but it's locked, right? So we just see the purple color. Knock on door. You rap loudly on the Naga hide door. You wonder how many Nagas had to give their all just to decorate this leasehold. Oh, we see that it opened. Yeah, what's the password? And remember, it was on the bathroom wall. Ken sent me, right? So we just type it in. Come on in. screwing up all the voices here. Let's see, there's a African American gentleman, and this place looks real scuzzy, as does the bar. Right? We see the wallpaper and stuff is kind of torn off. There's the little television. There's these kind of cardboard boxes everywhere, and this guy is blocking the stairs. So he looks like I believe he's like a bouncer, right, or like a bodyguard, that sort of a thing. Security, in other words. Yep. So we'll say, look, the bar's storage room is almost empty. Its most significant feature is a big, mean-looking dude. Look, dude. He's no rocket scientist. Okay. Look, TV. The screen is blank, much like the pimp's mind. Oh, excuse me, it's a pimp. It's not a security guy. I mean, he is working security, but that means nothing. All right. So, right, if we use TV remote, I have a remote, don't I? Yeah. Oh, I see. Use TV remote, it doesn't know, but use remote. You click the power switch on the remote control. It happens to be the one for the TV. Oh, John. Oh, Marcia. Oh, John. Oh, Marcia. Oh, John. Oh, Marcia. Oh, John. Oh, Marcia. Another boring soap opera. Ah ha ha. The pimp seems vaguely interested, but not enough to leave his post by the stairs. Okay, so we want to. That's part of the ultimate goal of these games is exploring. Well, reaching the end, right? But you're trying to get to as many rooms as possible, and to get to different rooms, you have to solve puzzles. It's a bit of a pedantic way to put it, but that's if you're at a real like sky high level, that's what we're doing. Use remote. Any of you ever played this game before, or any games like it? I'm kind of curious because there's a lot of them. Sierra in particular did King's Quest, Space Quest, Quest for Glory, Leisure Suit Larry, Gabriel Knight, all kinds of stuff. The off button is broken, so we could probably just do change channel, right? I'm Al Fartles, and this is my partner Fed Ames. We just want to tell you how much we appreciate your support. Another boring commercial. The pimp seems vaguely interested, but not enough to leave his post by the stairs. Notice that's the same text description as before, because why think of a different thing to do when you can just copy and paste? Not use channel, change channel. And now Aloha Productions is proud to present The Revenge of the Software Developers in full color and stereo sound. Another boring musical comedy. Musical, really? The pimp seems vaguely interested, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Change channel once again. So much like that puzzle before of you're looking at the walls for the messages. This is not a great puzzle. You're just doing the same action over and over again until you get a solution. A better puzzle might be, let's say you talk to the pimp and say, maybe he says, oh, I really like this channel. And then you look at the TV guide on a table and it tells you what channel to pick to get the guy to watch something. Something that's a bit more involved. It's the repetition when you're in puzzle design is something you want to avoid. Channel selector. While Jim is fighting for his life with the raging female rhinoceros in heat, I'll slip into my tent with this native girl and this pitcher of Mai Tais. Another boring documentary. I don't know, that documentary sounds interesting to me, but it's not to the pimp. So this is like the fifth time? Fourth? It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. No, 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 anything but that. Yeah, that's a reference to Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, a public access show run out of I was going to say Philadelphia. No, Pittsburgh, I believe, is where they shot that one. And it was a children's show that was really progressive at the time. I think probably still is. that espoused the values of kindness, but it also had like a puppet show in the middle with kings and queens and kitty cats and all kinds of crazy stuff. The pimp is vaguely interested. Live from Malaga, California, it's the Cable Sports presentation network of the miniature female mud wrestlers 500-kilometer cross-country nude bicycle race. Another boring cable sports show. I mean, yeah, so we should have. He's vaguely interested. This next one, I hope, does it, because I'm getting tired of this puzzle. And next, Masterpiece Theater presents a special 3D broadcast of Naga Hide, Goddesses of Oakhurst. Another boring educational show. Pimp seems interested, but not enough. Oh, baby, yeah, yeah, I love it when you do it like that. Ooh, that hurts so good. Pull it out a little deeper. Wait, you pull something out deeper? That seems backwards. And so you switch to the porn channel, and that distracted the pimp. You've reached the pimp's cultural level. Talk to pimp. He ignores you. He's engrossed in something right now. Engrossed being the operative word. Yeah, so we're going to see what's upstairs, wrap that up, and then I'll have to continue this at a later time. I have 5 animals that need breakfast. As do I, for that matter. I do love this Godfather mug, though. That's sort of fun. You have to go up and over to get up the stairs. You can't just push over. Okay, and what do we see in this room? It's the hooker's seedy bedroom. The bed's a mess. Ditto the hooker. Hooker's kind of an older. I mean, there was a term around when this game was made. The term's still used, but like, I don't know, prostitute or escort. It's probably more common nowadays as of this recording. Okay. A sign near the bed says substantial penalty for early withdrawals. Table near the window. Look, table. And it has a box of candy. Look at lady. That's kind of fun, the idling animation of her leg. Yeah, not. I mean, at the time, graphics like this were well done, and she's talking about your breath, which is sort of funny. Geez, mister, what you been eating? Buffalo chips? So you can see she has the clothesline. Clothes. The clothesline is barely strong enough to hold its present load. Poor girl, you think these prices... At these prices, she could afford a laundromat. Get clothes. Although you might look precious in that little white lace number, you're just not that kind of guy. Let's say there's candies here. Looks like the hooker has a box of candy at the table. Get candy. Look, candy, we can get a different description. Candy makes the perfect present. Yeah, that's a hint, so I'll need it for later. And now we're going to see what's the window. Look, heater. Open window. See the animation when you open the window. A lot of games back then wouldn't even show the animation, right? It'd just be a static image. Exit window, and we get to see him kind of snoop out. So now we're on the back patio. I'm going to walk off the fire escape. We'll look. It's a nice little alley with a trash bin, 2 windows, a fire escape, a fence, and something sitting on the east window. Look, window. You see inside the west window, you see the room we just left. Look, east window. Looking at the east window, see a bottle of pills. Get pills. Try moving to the east end of the fire escape. I think it kills you if you try to get it before you have something to reach it. So we get the kind of funny cartoon sound effect. Boom, you're in the dumpster. Yuck. Look in dumpster. Aside from assorted odoriferous, that's a good word, odoriferous, refuse from Lefty's clientele, you discover Lefty's old left-handed hammer. Get hammer. Look, hammer. Although you only scored in the 28th percentile in your high school's national mechanical aptitude test, you're fairly certain this is a hammer. Then we will leave. I'm surprised it recognized leave. I thought it would have said, like, jump out. Smell. It doesn't know what that is. Get trash. You don't need it. So, I mean, now we're over 10% of the way there with the points. And we'll read the side again, and that's a good stopping point for now. I hope to do this later. If you had fun, would really appreciate a follow. And click the bell, do the notifications so you know when I'm going to do this next. Because I should be using that feature, because it would be great fun to be an affiliate on Twitch and maybe even a partner someday. Who knows? Love playing these old games. Taxi stand. Save. Save it again. Great. So I'm at Bradley-Tschirgi. And the dog's going to pee on me. No. I hope you like this. Give me a follow. Click the bell for notifications. You can also follow me on Twitter at MATWBT on there. And my website, matwbt.com. You can learn about books I've written and all kinds of fun stuff about technology, games. Stupid dog, I gotta quit. Okay. See you later. Hope you had fun. Bye. See you next time.